the thing about Michelle Obama is she's always negative. Everything she says has got a negative spin on it. She's negative about the country. She's negative about her time as First Lady. She's very negative about her husband. I fully believe that they have a bad marriage. She did not marry the right person. It's not a good match. She almost never says anything nice about him. That, too, she's now trying to defend as somehow, I don't know, this is like a racial attack when people say this. You tell me if you can figure it out. By the way,
Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly just joined forces for the most savage celebrity slam of the year. And guess who's caught in the crossfire? That's right, Michelle Obama. What did they unleash that sent shockwaves through every headline? Was it a brutal takedown, a shocking truth bomb, or total media mayhem? Don't blink, because this wild clash is hotter than your morning coffee.
Joe Rogan is calling out Oprah and Michelle Obama for hypocritical speeches at the DNC. Watch.
She's up there talking about income inequality. Like, hey, lady.
Yeah, I know.
You're rich as Like, how is that equal? And also, when Michelle Obama was saying, you know, I think she was saying her mother or grandmother was always suspicious of people who took more than they needed.
Yes.
Like,
you
are worth so much money.
Take more than they need. The Obamas have 4 mansions.
I mean, it's a bunch of rich people talking about rich people.
And 10 times more scandalous. Trust me, you have to see how this chaos exploded. Ever wondered what erupts when a legendary podcaster, who could outtalk a hyper squirrel on espresso, joins forces with a former news anchor who's perfected that smug little eyebrow raise? Buckle up.
Michelle Obama, still trying to make her struggling podcast a thing, went on a 4.5-minute tear about herself and how hard it is to be Michelle Obama. We're going to go through quite a bit of it. Here's the first one about how difficult it is for Black women like Michelle to articulate their pain.
We grew up with women who weren't voicing the pain, and the burden. They made it look easy.
This fiery duo launched a no-breaks, gloves-off takedown of one of America's most polished, untouchable icons, Michelle Obama. And trust me, what they exposed? It left the internet spinning. Now buckle up. This wasn't some cozy disagreement over wine and novels or a sweet little spat about backyard herbs.
Joan Rivers said that Michelle Obama was a man before she died.
Was that a joke? I thought it was a joke.
I thought it was a joke too, but the way she said it wasn't like jokey. She was like, oh, come on, everybody knows Michelle Obama's the man. Like, remember that?
Yeah, like, would Big Mike kill you for that?
Well, I think she died because she had 1,000 plastic surgeries. But
yeah, she was going under.
Yeah.
She just sees these big black arms coming over her face. Big Mike.
Bro.
Oh, no.
This was a precision strike. A calculated verbal wrecking ball launched from 2 fierce fronts, locked on Michelle Obama's polished persona. The same woman who somehow turned workout gear and kale into political symbols while straddling the line between beloved icon and walking controversy. First, let's set the cultural stage.
Michelle Obama, listen to this.
And at this phase of my life, I'm in therapy right now because I'm transitioning. You know, I'm 60 years old. I've finished a really hard thing in my life with my family intact. I'm an empty nester. My girls are in, you know, they've been launched. And now for the first time, as I've said before, every choice that I'm making is completely mine. I now don't have the excuse of, well, my kids need this or my husband needs that or the country needs that. So how do I think about this next phase?
Once again, speaking a reference to her time as First Lady negatively, and I'm transitioning. I mean, an interesting choice of words, given how the internet refers to her.
Michelle Obama's been surfing a tidal wave of public adoration longer than your favorite reality shows survive cancellation. She's been hailed as the poster queen of elegance under fire, the brainy, graceful, drop-dead, glamorous First Lady who somehow flipped a White House role into a brand, powerful enough to sell everything from sneakers to political dreams. But here's the twist. When someone climbs to that level of untouchable fame, they don't just inspire admiration, they paint a glittering bullseye on their back, gift-wrapped in sky-high public expectations. So it didn't take much, just a Rogan and Kelly power play to shatter Michelle Obama's polished glow. Rogan, the podcast king who mentally wrestles bears and throws out hot takes like dog park frisbees, approached Michelle's image like a mad scientist with a cocktail of chaos and curiosity. To him, every conspiracy theory is just one text away from the truth. Forget manners. He came in swinging, determined to rip open the cracks between Michelle's spotlight persona and what he suspects is the real story. Then came Megyn Kelly, cool as ice and sharp as a blade. If Joe's the loose cannon, she's the sniper.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty funny how she said it.
Okay, we all know it. So what year was that, Jamie, that she said that?
I have no idea.
Well, let's see if we can find that.
Okay.
Well, how soon before she died did she say it?
Well, I don't.
And Boeing is a terrible airline. It's a terrible.
She didn't bash. She dissected, cutting into Michelle's brand and activism like a surgeon. The result? Just as brutal. Imagine a ballerina pirouetting straight into a prize fight. Graceful, but deadly. Together, they didn't just raise questions about Michelle's image. They tore into the very core of the celebrity activism empire she's come to represent. Wait, hold up. She's a what? A transgender? Oh, come on, we all know, Joe said, laughing. That's hilarious the way she said it. Yeah, we've known, he added. So when did she say that, Jamie? What year was that? I have no idea, Jamie replied. Well, let's try to find it. Yeah, and by the way, Boeing? Absolute trash. That company is a disaster. Joe Rogan's commentary felt like a crackling midnight campfire confession from a guy who's half conspiracy sleuth, half stand-up savage. He zoomed in on Michelle's contradictions and tangled complexities, unpacking how her polished sound bites sometimes clash with boots on ground. Outcomes. Picture Joe peeling an onion. Only each layer makes you wonder why you ever trusted onions at all. Rogan argued Michelle's activism, lacquered, gift-wrapped,
to Michelle Obama. Every day she's dropped another negativity bomb on us, whether on her podcast or on someone else's. I mean, this audience knows she never says anything positive. It is all complaints. So she goes on another podcast. She's promoting her show, so she's making the rounds. The Diary of a CEO podcast, and actually found a way to bitch and moan about how hard it is to live in the White House.
and splashed across every talk show and glossy cover, might exist less to rattle the system and more to preserve it. She's playing chess while the crowd still thinks it's checkers. The moves look slick, but is the board really shifting? To Rogan, the crowd cheers, but he insists the stage lights hide subtle sleights of hand, masking real consequences and cushioning elite comfort, all while selling inspiration like collectible merch to loyal followers hungry for slogans. He calls it applause-powered maintenance of the status quo. Simply. Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly attacked from another flank with the same demolition mission. She targeted the storyline that Michelle's image has been largely engineered by friendlier media, suggesting beneath the shimmer is a political celebrity meticulously steering optics to stay untouchable. Megyn revealed how Michelle's activism can feel like a pre-scripted pageant tailored to charm the masses without truly rocking the establishment. She sketched a figure less revolutionary than master publicist, brilliantly skilled at basking in non-stop spotlight without ever stepping outside approved lines. The brilliance of this takedown? It came from both sides, like a tag team showdown aimed straight at Michelle Obama.
Before COVID, I would have told you that vaccines are the most important invention in human history. After COVID, I'm like, I don't think we went to the moon. I think Michelle Obama's got a dick. I think Pizzagate is real. I think there's direct energy weapons in Antarctica.
Rogan hit hard with sweeping, skeptical jabs, while Megyn came in with scalpel-sharp precision. Think of it as a knockout combo, a left hook of bold cynicism, and a right jab of cold analysis, in a fight no one saw coming until the ref waved it off. What made this drama extra juicy? Neither Rogan nor Kelly had any interest in playing nice. Rogan came in raw, blunt, unfiltered, tossing out hot takes that made you nod, wince, or laugh, sometimes all at once. His tone? Like the guy who finally shouted, "Hey, the Emperor's naked!" Except in this case, the Emperor is one of the most adored figures of our time. Megyn, on the other hand, brought that polished, surgical coolness. Her approach felt like peeling back trendy wallpaper to reveal a much duller wall underneath. Sure, it still stands, but it's not the glamorous facade Instagram's selling. Together, their critiques did more than question Michelle's brand. They lit up the entire spectacle of celebrity politics. Are icons like Michelle being crushed under unrealistic standards, or are they helping keep up the illusions that hide deeper cracks? This wasn't just a roast. It was a full-blown spotlight on the machine behind modern political fame.
She went on a podcast called Diary of a CEO. It's kind of rings a bell like a founder kind of situation. And once again, wants you to know how awful it is to be married with children.
There are just many natural reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult. It's like I try to tell couples, of course it's hard. Just listen to what I said.
Suddenly, social media went up in flames. Debates raged, meme factories kicked into overdrive, and Twitter threads turned into digital battlefields. Fans who once viewed Michelle as beyond reproach were now squinting through a different lens. And not everyone liked what they saw. Critics pounced, gleefully flipping the moment into cultural cannon fodder. And just like that, it was no longer just commentary. It was a full-blown national moment. So now, let's crank it up and rip off the PR wrapping paper. This is the part where Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly start peeling back Michelle Obama's ultra-polished public persona. Think of it like unboxing a high-gloss, influencer-filtered onion. Yeah, there are layers. And yeah, some might sting, but not from emotion, from shock. First off, Michelle's image? It's been crafted with the kind of obsessive detail that'd make a NASA mission planner blush. We're talking brand control so tight, it's dodged criticism for years like it had presidential security. They weren't buying the fairy tale, no way. They went full detective mode. Like a gritty Netflix true crime duo tearing through timelines and testimony, sniffing out plot holes no one wanted to admit were there. Joe Rogan, with that relentless curiosity and built-in radar for anything that reeks of PR spin, started poking holes in the polished narrative. He questioned whether Michelle's activism was more style than substance, more visual marketing than actual.
Little people with their own sense of everything, they mess you up. You love them dearly, but they're a hassle.
What? I mean, there's something wrong with this person. Like, she's seriously depressed. She has the most negative, dark outlook on life I've ever heard from a public figure, certainly one who's been given so much. Okay, her window into motherhood and having a child, the first thing she says, they mess you up. They mess you up. Maybe that's what happened to her. Maybe she was totally delightful before the two daughters came along. I don't know. She clearly is not enjoying motherhood and enjoying being in a marriage. Even less. It's not you if things get hard. It's all hard. It's all hard. This is so backward.
Then came Megyn Kelly, wielding her scalpel-sharp skepticism. She dissected Michelle's every appearance and endorsement, revealing how perfectly they aligned with keeping her image squeaky clean and broadly appealing, while sidestepping the uncomfortable realities of deep political change. It was like watching a masterclass in optics management. Every word, every outfit, every gesture, calculated to uplift without offending, to inspire without polarizing. Take Michelle's Let's Move campaign. On the surface, it was gold, targeting childhood obesity with a clear plan, a catchy name, and wall-to-wall media coverage. But scratch the surface, and the cracks begin to show. Sure, gym class got a glow-up. Kale became a social media icon. But did it really shake the food industry? Did it touch the deeper, messier roots? The economic and racial inequalities tied to health in America? That's where Rogan and Kelly pounced. They weren't just critiquing Michelle.
More fuel on the fire that there's a potential, maybe a divorce or some sort of rockiness going on in the Obamas' relationship. They both posted these mirrored, very choreographed Valentine's Day messages on X, but he was just seen at an LA, the basketball team, the Clippers, thank you, game without her. And then on Tuesday, he was spotted eating out at a fancy dinner in Sherman Oaks with both daughters, Malia and Sasha, but again, no Michelle, according to TMZ. So
I think they seem to be soft launching their divorce.
Rogan and Kelly spotlighted the bigger dilemma, demanding sky-high perfection from public figures who straddle the glitzy celebrity activist line. Fans crave icons who smash barriers, But once those stars are embedded inside colossal political and media machines, genuine upheaval gets infinitely trickier. Their critique fuels the louder conversation about celebrity activism at large. When influencers use their megaphones for good, are we witnessing real progress or a glitter-coated performance engineered to keep their brands sparkling? Their breakdown argued that polished positivity might soothe cable news panels, yet leaves parents, teachers, and kids gasping for deeper change behind the cameras and clickbait. Rogan's raw skepticism and Kelly's refined dissection illuminated that razor-thin divide, exposing how easily inspiring change morphs into perception management. Now here's where things really exploded: the ripple effect.
Even knowing that there are divorce rumors and, she's not showing up for him, whether it's at the Jimmy Carter funeral or the Trump inauguration or the basketball game he just went to in LA, when visiting their daughters and then dinner with the daughters, was not there. Here she is talking about it. If it were me, I would say something nice about him. I would say, like, he's just so charming. It was meant to be. I knew he could heal the earth in the way he did. There was only one person who could do it, and it was my husband, Barack Obama, whatever. Then she gets on to talking a little bit about him personally, and this is how that's.
The message was crystal clear. No one is above the microscope anymore. Watching Michelle Obama, one of the most protected public personas in modern history, face that same raw scrutiny regular people face daily, that wasn't just a critique. It was a reckoning. A long overdue reminder that even legends aren't untouchable. Looking ahead, the fallout from this moment could shake the entire foundation, not just of Michelle Obama's image, but of how we view political celebrities altogether. Rogan and Kelly didn't just pull back the curtain, they ripped it down. Now we're all forced to ask the uncomfortable question: are we finally ready to rethink the way we worship these public figures? Can the era of glossy, picture-perfect celebrity activism survive in a world that's starving for something grittier, more authentic, and yes, more chaotic? This story is far from over. As the media world keeps shifting and audiences grow savvier, the way we interact with celebrity influence is undergoing a radical transformation. And guess what? Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly didn't just throw a match into the gas tank. They sat front row for the explosion with smirks, side eyes, and commentary that left audiences both laughing and gasping. But here's the real kicker. Michelle Obama didn't say a word. No denial, no tweet, no slickly produced talk show rebuttal. Nothing. This was a turning point, a cultural reckoning with the way we allow celebrity images to dictate narratives. Are those polished, PR-heavy personas still believable? Or are people finally seeing them for what they really are? Carefully constructed brands, engineered to inspire, without ever truly disrupting anything. In the end, Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly didn't just go after Michelle Obama. They took a sledgehammer to the mirror reflecting the entire political celebrity complex. Rogan's raw, unfiltered skepticism collided with Kelly's calculated, razor-sharp dissection. And what followed was a perfect media storm. It was messy, it was brutal, and it was absolutely riveting. So the next time you see a perfectly lit photo op or a flawlessly delivered speech, remember, behind the curtain, there might just be a podcast host and a news anchor, smirking, whispering, and plotting the next takedown.